Hi, Earth signs. I am here with your October general outlook. I did take a glance back just at the title of the video from last month to get sort of a refresher of what was going on. And again, just because it resonated last month doesn't mean that it will. I do find a lot of times, though, that the energy of the collective, whatever that I'm channeling, it does kind of just flow and evolve. So we'll see, but it sounded like for many of you, I was sensing there was some sort of union that was imminent. So you may have reached, some sort of an improvement, a closeness in your relationship with someone else. You may have just found more love within you. And one of the other messages that seemed to come out quite a bit in the video last month was about balance, which we're finding really. I mean, earth signs, it was prevalent, but it's across the collective, no matter what sign you really are. But again, we all have aspects for the most part in our chart, of all elements typically. I mean, some people may only have a couple, but usually you're dominant in one or two, and then you have aspects in others. So be sure to check your sun, moon, rising, Venus, other aspects. So interestingly, for whatever reason, I feel compelled for earth signs to use the Shadowscapes Tarot for your reading today. And I think I've only used this on one other video. I think I used it for the masculine, maybe on the last video on the new moon. So these are really beautiful cards, but it may take me a little bit longer to kind of feel them out and assess the images, but we'll see what comes out. So earth signs. This is a very powerful time. We're just coming out of Virgo season, going into Libra season. The earth, is the scape of the earth is, landscape of the earth is changing. Leaves are falling. Definitely a time of transition, I feel like, for earth signs. Like seeds have been planted and harvest is going to be reaped. Let's hope so, right? I'm Taurus, moon, and rising, so. All right. Okay, that card. All right. All right. Okay. I was just making sure I didn't have them all flipped. No, I do not. Okay, so that reversal is going to stand then. I thought if the whole deck was upside down, I probably would maybe correct myself. But this is a reversal we actually like. We want. Oh, wow. This is interesting. Okay. Did I not say, you guys, that it was like a time of transition? You guys heard me say that, right? That's in reverse. Usually I don't keep pulling this many cards, but I just feel compelled to keep going. I'm trying to see which king comes out. He's not wanting to come out. Got all the aces though. Phew, I'm on fire, you guys. It's like all these messages are channeling through. This is weird. I am on fire all of a sudden. What the heck? All right, I'm just gonna stop one. Maybe we might go to a different deck and see if we can get a clarifier for that. Whew. What in the world is happening? This is insane. Okay. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Obviously, clearly, right? In case you didn't know. So we've got the Nine of Swords, which, nobody really likes that card because it's the pain is happening. It's real. It's happening right now. Um, but it's in reverse. So that is the good thing. That means there's the capability of coming out of this energy, but it's crossed by the moon. So we're either needing to get through this new moon, because this image of the moon is I guess you can see it as a newer moon. So we may be needing to get through the energy of the moon, or it could be that there's some sort of knowledge, truth, something that is hidden, which hasn't come to light yet. So you're not able to move out of whatever this heartache is. And I'm getting the sense that you may have a decision to make about which, between two people. Either that, or they have you as a third party, as a choice, as an option. So it's one or the other. And I'm getting water and fire coming out. There's Knight of Cups and there's Knight of Wands here. And Knights, as many of you know, that's why I kept looking for a king. I'm like, where's the king? Like, who's going to be the king? Is one of these going to come out as the king? Just to, I thought if it popped out right away when I was asking that question, that might give some clear guidance as far as which direction to go with these knights, which one was going to step up. But knights are transitory. And again, these don't have to be people. These don't have to actually be physical people. That's what I'm picking up on, though, is that because we've got the Two of Swords as kind of the desire here, is there's a desire to make a choice and move on from this situation there's something keeping these divine counterparts apart. You can see that there's the two swans that are separated by this Grim Reaper. So you've got the one that is up in the tree, its heart is outside of its body, and this other one is down on the ground and it's trying to get up to it. And there's death. It's like a death, and this is interesting because death did come out, which was weird because I was sensing transition happening in October. So this to me is the death. Something has to die before these two people can come together, and I think it's a third party situation. And again, it might be that you have a choice between two knights, or there's a third party, because we do have the Three of Swords here. So I'm just gonna go through these and kind of see, because there's some heavy energy. There's some different situations coming out. I mean, we've got we've got the Five of Cups here, which is sort of the looking at the past, not seeing that there's still something out in front of you. I feel like, we did have the Emperor come out, right? But I was looking for, so the Emperor is the divine masculine. It's can be the boss, the leader. But I was looking for a specific king because you've got the two knights here, and I just wanted to see which one was going to come out. But I feel like some of you, there may have been someone in your past that you thought was your divine soul counterpart. I feel like that energy was really toxic, though. And the reason being, I don't know that I've ever seen this before. So it's just interesting that I was drawn to this deck. But this version of the Emperor looks like a devil. It looks like it has devil horns, which is, to me, not the typical embodiment of the divine masculine, the sacred partner. So I feel like you either had somebody in your past that you thought was this person, and I'm getting this, there may have actually been a physical death. They may have died, actually left Earth. Or it could just be now that you're torn between two people, because this is the person from, that you've been sticking onto this toxic situation, and you've got someone else here who is actually loving this Knight of Cups, who is maybe willing to offer you more emotion, more love, more, something that's, look at like the golden cup, versus this Knight of Wands who kind of comes in and out, hot and cold, that type of thing. So it could be that situation as well, as you're trying to make this choice, and this new person has come in, and you're kind of just torn up on the past, and you're confused as to which way you could go. And certainly if you had someone die, it would be very difficult to not focus on the cups that spilled over and see, it'd be hard to get past that and see that there is something else out there for you. But the death energy I'm getting also is something's got to close out again. That's where we're coming back to this Two of Swords. Something has to close out for these swans to be able to come together. And then once that happens, it's like they join into one large phoenix, right, and rise from the ashes. And when that happens, there is this passionate, amazing new beginning. But what is a little bit confusing to me, and another reason that I kept pulling cards, is, once this death happens and this passionate new beginning emerges from that, the Three of Swords is the outcome. So I guess what is sort of coming through now is maybe be careful which situation you walk away from, because the Emperor is showing up here like this. And if, because of nostalgia, because of the past connection you share, despite knowing maybe deep down it's toxic, you close the door on this Knight of Cups, who really maybe could offer you something genuine. If you close the door on the wrong one, you could end up heartbroken. I'm getting deceived, stabbed in the back, because again, this is not the divine masculine. This is not the embodiment of the divine masculine that you would want. I'm just kind of like really blown away by this image of the Emperor. It's crazy. It's like they're pretending to be like, see, he's got like this cross hanging on his horns, kind of like dangling this out there, like this carrot, like, yes, I'm spiritual, I'm this, I'm that, trying to kind of play into that energy, maybe a narcissistic type personality, to try to suck you in to his lair. And I'm just getting like a kind of like a warning feeling, kind of like, don't, if you because of I'm just getting, if there's you close out the wrong thing and move towards something where kind of in your gut you have this feeling about him that maybe doesn't sit right with you, I think this is confirmation that if you're feeling like this is not, something about this isn't right, I think you need to trust your gut and trust your intuition, because this is the outcome. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go through the rest of the cards that came out, because remember I said I kept pulling them, but I kept getting messages too that were, so let's just see what came out. So after that, we got the Hierophant. So I think that's confirmation in my mind that you are on this path of finding a sacred partner. And you may be weary, you may be exhausted, I mean, this tree, it just kind of looks very ancient. It looks very, I don't know what word I'm thinking of, but not like it would be friendly to approach. And I think you're just tired and you're like, this has got to be it. This has got to be it. Because there's, so many synchronicities or whatever it is that you were kind of willing to settle because you're just tired and you just want to be done with this journey. But what I'm getting is that you're on this path, but don't settle for something you know is toxic just for the sake of like saying, yeah, I found my person. If deep down you're kind of sensing it's not the right situation. And maybe that fact that, if you were getting imminent, feelings that union was imminent last month and things were progressing maybe with this person, but maybe you started seeing some red flags, that could be why this is sort of coming out as well. And it could have been a reunion, 6 of Cups, with somebody, again, from your past coming back in. But I'm getting that just because that happened, that doesn't mean there's only one past life soulmate for all of us. If you're on this path, you're doing your work, you're focusing on joy, raising your vibration, those types of things, you have to have trust and faith, higher font, that something is going to come your way that's meant for you on this path. 3 of Wands, I mean, yeah, you've been manifesting that for sure. The look at this. I mean, there's this beautiful, you've been walking this path a long time. There's this feminine, and she's got these wands. The wands are almost in the shape of crosses, like the holy spiritual progression. Like she's walked this mountain, she's almost there. Her faithful companion, her little cat, is with her. That's so cute. I love this image. She's like at the precipice. She's there. She's just like, I've walked so far. I've done this. But remember when I said when I was shuffling, the seeds have been planted? They have. They've been planted, and I know we get tired of hearing that. But this may be, whatever this is, maybe another lesson for you that you have to close out and trusting your gut and trusting that if somebody's presented to you as an emperor just because they're awakened, just because they claim to have changed or whatever it is, your gut, you're being asked to trust your intuition about things. And you have the ability to come out of this 9 of Swords. It's just like the things that aren't being revealed, maybe you're not admitting to yourself these things that these feelings you've been having below the surface. The devil came out. I mean, remember how I said this emperor looks like the devil? I mean, that's kind of confirmation right there of that. The truth, I was just talking about the truth coming out, that maybe you had admitted the truth to yourself about the it's not really insecurities, it's red flags, or just, I can't put my finger on the word right now, but Knight of Swords, the truth coming out. But again, you've been manifesting this journey, and so we've got the Magician. So the Magician and the 3 of Wands that came out right here. It's further confirmation of that you are working towards this Holy Trinity. 3 of Pentacles. Teamwork. Ask yourself, this person, would they really put in the effort and the teamwork that you need in a divine counterpart? Are they following through on their words? Actions speak louder than words sometimes. There could be a distance between you. I'm just getting, would they really uproot their life? Like, there's just some difficulties and you're kind of sensing that. But ultimately, you are going to be successful. I think you just have to maintain the faith in that. 6 of Wands. We love that card. I was about to say balance, but we got Temperance, which is about healing. It's about patience. And 2 of Pentacles, definitely, and this image is definitely evoking the balancing act. The balancing, this is yin yang here on the Temperance card as well. So there's still some more balance that needs to happen before you can alchemically manifest this divine counterpart. If you haven't met them yet, Or if you have met somebody and maybe they have not, quote, awakened yet or shifted enough into that vibration with you, there's still some things you need to do to go within and nurture that bond within yourself. That's what I'm getting. She's lovingly looking at this, but it's not another person, it's the energy. So 2 of Pentacles. I mean, yeah, see how this guy is balancing it. Wow. There was a lot happening here, guys. I'm gonna let's see here. I'm gonna pull from the Romance Angels. I'm gonna see what this says about this Emperor Devil character. I'm just curious what's gonna come out here. What's coming out here? Yeah. So I think, so we've got healing family issues, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, that there's still some healing that needs to happen within you, some balance for you, if you're in this situation, to recognize this person is not your soulmate. Okay, I know we got soulmate and it's upright, but I'm getting it because this is very similar. I'm just getting a sensation here very much of the situation I was in this spring, where I was very much fed up with my journey. I was exhausted. Let me find this. I don't know what I did with the, I wanted to see the 3 of Wands image again. Well, we got the Hermit, so wasn't I just saying she was going within herself? But, you know, I was at that cliff. Let me see. Just want to see what else I'm not missing. What I'm missing here, she is. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I had walked so far, just me and my cats, and I felt like I was at the point where I was ready, and I had waited long enough, and I was very much an ego. Just not wanting to face the pain, which was the pain of the possibility of not coming into union with a particular person. And I was blaming him for, you know, not being ready or all of these things, and not really taking a look in the mirror. And I'm not saying that's what you were doing. I'm just saying, just laying out the situation of the energy that I was in. And I still had a lot of healing to do. I had a lot of work to do on myself, to where I was in this attitude. The fact that, you know, and it was a very, very strong test. I'm not, you know, putting myself down. I mean, my friends, at least the ones that witnessed the night that I met this guy, this kid, the connection that he and I had, when, I mean, he acknowledged it first and was saying all the right things. And when you look in somebody's eyes and you feel thousands and thousands of years of karma and of bond and of some from other worlds that you can't explain, the instant you look in their eyes and you finish each other's sentences and you have this connection, it's just like, oh my God, you just think, well, this is it because I've worked so hard. Ignoring the red flags, right? You know, here I am, well, thinking, well, twin flames always have a big age difference. Who cares if this kid is, what, how old was he even? 21, 22 years old? Like, who cares? Who cares about the age? Who cares about the fact, you know, that we have extreme lifestyle differences? Oh, he got arrested. Who cares? It's okay. He's just a, you know, he's a light worker and he's got anger issues and because he's an indigo. And I mean, oh my God, like it was a big, big lesson for me. The universe is like, are you ready for union? Are you ready to move forward or you're not? And for a while, I got stuck in this, I mean, thinking that that person was possibly my twin soul, whatever label you want to call it, that this was a person that I wanted to bring into my life, barely knowing them just because of this. Now, granted, the bond I feel with him is actually more ancient than I felt with anyone. It's still, I mean, but it was very much this, okay, very much dark and toxic and meant to draw me off path, meant to be a test. And you know, as a part of this journey, we are required to close out past life karma. It's something that the feminines especially have to face, and past life can be childhood, you know, things, healing family issues came out. Um, it can be soulmates from other lifetimes, which I guarantee you, this dude, he and I go way, way, way back. And again, for somebody else to bring that up first and finish sentences, and the you know, it just it's they mirror a lot of those things. And I mean, it's a test. If this is resonating as far as you having this devil emperor energy, that's what's coming out here. Is this is a test, and you have to heal to be with your real soulmate. And this is the irony, you guys, when this person came in my life, and then subsequently another one, not to that extent, like a toxic past life, but I think there's definitely a soul bond with myself and this other person, that I was getting a lot of confusion about if I wanted to pursue dating him or not, and all of that. You know, and I was back then pulling cards for myself a lot. I don't do that as much anymore, but both of those instances, I got the soulmate card that came out. And I kept thinking, well, that means he's my soulmate. That means it's confirmation, you know, he's my soulmate. No, and this is kind of tying it all together, and it's coming full circle, which is why I'm sharing all this with you guys. It's confirmation that there's more healing you need to do to manifest union with your true soulmate. Anything, if you're on this journey, the sacred partner journey, twin flame, whatever you want to call it, it can be very painful. It can be what some people would label as toxic. If somebody's ghosting you, if somebody's, you know, not spending time with you, and it's a very thin line. But for me, the distinguishing factor is, because I've been in a narcissistic relationship at least twice, one, you know, different types, and the past life thing that came in, right? Are you growing, expanding, ascending, evolving? Are you becoming a better person as a result of the triggers and the dynamic and the push-pull and the things that are happening? Are you seeing growth? Are you seeing a reason? Are you learning? Or are you losing yourself? Because if it's the latter, that's toxicity to me, okay? And everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own experiences. So I'm not here to tell you you're right or wrong. But I think if this is resonating with you, and you're feeling kind of this weird vibe about this person, you need to trust it, because I'm getting the Three of Swords with them. And I'm getting there that there is somebody else, a Knight of Cups, that is coming towards you and may already be in your life. And maybe they're not as exciting as this other person. I don't know. There's not that history. There's not that pull. But that the karmic ties, the karmic ones, this life and past lives, they're the hardest to let go of. They are an addiction in some ways. And it was hard for me even to just finally, it took me after, you know, I gave financially this person willingly. I was offering, but then he asked for more money and I gave him money. And it's just like, you know what? And then I knew the last time I did it, I knew it was the last time I was going to do it. And it just, and then he, you know, he reached out again. And of course, right when Mercury, the last day of Mercury retrograde, didn't ask for money, but just, you know, we were talking, and he looked really good, and he seemed like things were going better with him. But I had already unfriended him on Facebook, because I was going to be in his hometown. I didn't want him to know I was there. But then on Messenger, I hadn't blocked him, and so he reached out that way. And it was very hard for me. I don't know why. I still don't know why. Looking back, I'm like, why the hell was it so hard for me to block him? And I ended up being like 10 minutes at one point, one evening when I ended up in dinner, like in a different part of the area. And I was like 10 minutes from where he works. And I could have went to see him and showed up. And part of me was going, and I'm like, why did I struggle with this? The reason is I still haven't quite figured it out. But I think to cut these things off, it's just like the bonds go so deep sometimes with how far back in many, many lifetimes. But even in this lifetime, it is like an addiction. It's a comfort, and it's because you're afraid. You are afraid to let go of something, not knowing what your future holds. If you have nobody else available, at least this is my experience, if things aren't progressing with the person you want to be with, well, they may never come around, and I don't know. And if you're holding on to the possibility of something else, even though it's toxic, just out of fear, that's holding you back from manifesting. That's holding the seeds back from coming forward, from sprouting. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but I'm feeling compelled to pull a past life card. I don't know why. We're just gonna see what comes out. Since we were just talking about past lives. Well, those came out. Those actually came out in another reading, and I must not have put them back. So we're gonna take them, but. Okay, so mother issues, wars and battles. So I think that, this is just, I think this came out before mother issues from childhood. This is why healing family issues came out. If there's a need, and I think that there were some messages about balance. I think maybe healing and trying to balance the feminine energy, maybe if you are either one, we have energy in both of us, but you may be too much in your masculine energy, is what I'm getting. And wars and battles, I think there could be this pull with this person just because maybe you have similar childhoods, similar upbringings, things you've went through on this journey, and that's why you feel drawn to them. But yeah, I think I also had the arts come out, which that one's a little weird. I'm gonna have to look, maybe contemplate some more onto this as to why this one keeps coming out. But the message I'm getting now, doesn't really have to do with a past life, but music is very therapeutic right now for maybe dealing with some of these things and exploring these feelings. And again, what I want to say strongly is, you'll know it's toxic if it's just draining your soul, draining you financially, draining your emotions, draining your time, draining everything from you. If it's just you're giving and giving and giving, getting nothing in return, if you're not growing and it's just depleting you, then that's how you know. Further confirmation there. Let's see. I'm going to do a Wisdom of the Oracle. Let's see what message. I'm just going to see what general message comes out for signs. Well, clean it up. That's like telling me, right? Get rid of that toxic crap. It's time to clean it up. That's exactly what I'm getting. Upward and onward. Because whatever this is, this is dragging you down. This is dragging you down, and it's keeping you apart from something really beautiful and sacred. And we were just talking, and I think this is so bad, you guys. I'm so embarrassed. Like, I don't really like yin and yang. I just know. I think yin is the feminine energy, and I'm just going on that because of the pink on this card. But I was just talking about feminine, balancing your feminine energy, making sure that you're not too much in your masculine. And that seems to confirm it right there. So, you can just try to pamper yourself, take baths, use essential oils. Even if you're a man watching this and you feel like you're just really not attuned to your feminine side, this sounds silly, this sounds crazy, go get a pedicure. Not kidding. My ex-husband started doing that, and this was after one of my best friends, her and her husband would go together, and he loved it. I mean, he loved it because it's just pampering, and it's not. Obviously, he doesn't get his toes painted, colors, but it's just getting that foot massage and just feeling, get a massage. I mean, but the pedicure is really nice because they clean up your feet and they do all these things, and it's just very pampering, very relaxing. Some places you can have a mimosa or something like that. So I'm definitely getting that very much. Oh, here's another. So this came out too. Come to the edge. To me, it's like take that leap of faith. 3-6 adds to a 9. That you're at the edge, right? You had that 3 of Wands where you're right there, but you're kind of, I mean, she just looks defeated to me. She looks kind of defeated, kind of like, just like, oh my God, looking up, kind of like, I'm just so tired. I'm done. I've been carrying these wands. But here she's more etheric. It's like you've got to take that leap of faith. You're at the edge, you're at the precipice, you're so close, but there's some more tests. I think this emperor, he may be, the connection may be like something you've never felt before in this life. And just because they look in your eyes and it's electric, and they can finish your sentences, and you may even look similar, and it's just, if deep down it's toxic and there's nothing that's building and progressing over time with this person, they're just depleting you, then you need to clean it up. Clean it up. Death, close it out. Because when you rise from the ashes, I mean, what I'm getting is, if you choose the high road and move away from the toxicity, Ace of Wands, you do have a passionate new beginning. What I fear is that you may choose another cycle or go around with this person instead, and then you end up here. So, which we don't want. It is never a good place to be. I feel compelled to end with some sort of different message than that, though. I feel like there's another message that wants to come out. Which one is it? I think there's an Ascended Master that has a message. They've been, I don't know, I haven't used these cards in a while, and then for whatever reason today in both videos, for Earth signs, what message for Earth signs on this sacred partner journey? Well, this is, I don't know if we could be more clear here. Listen. So, I mean, what was I saying earlier? I was saying, I think you feel it in your gut. You kind of know, which is why you're seeking guidance, about this person or situation. Is if it really was the right thing for you, you wouldn't have that gnawing feeling in your stomach and those questions and those doubts. So this is saying, if you're getting the red flags, if your intuition's calling to you, you just haven't wanted to admit it to yourself, it's time to listen. So I hope that helps, and all I can say is, if this is resonating, I feel for you because I've been there, but it really does get easier, and someday you'll look back, and like I'm doing, and we're not even, it's what, 6 weeks since then, actually going on a couple months since the end of July, but I'm looking back now and I'm like, why in the hell was I so struggling with blocking this person? Why was I just struggling with that? It's just this energetic thing to close this out, and it's hard. It's hard to close out these bonds and these past life cycles, but it's essential. And once you do it, you will look back and you'll be like, wow, what was that? Then you're going to further ascend and just be like, what was I thinking back then? Because this is such a better place to be away from that toxicity. So hang in there, earth signs, and I will see you next month.